Italian clubs. You then had De Laurentiis and Napoli backing him up, saying, I agree with Agnelli, Mr. Collina has thrown me out in the past because obviously I'm a free man and I love to talk openly. He's also damaged us in previous years, throwing us out of European competitions. I just don't understand just how someone with his professional background can fail like he has. Gab Marcotti, what's wrong with these people?
I don't know, and I think what they're saying is nonsense. I'll try to translate, but their point is basically that Collina, who obviously is Italian, because he's so terrified of being accused of favoring Italian clubs, goes out of his way to go and appoint referees that, it's not that they're biased, but referees who maybe aren't very good, who are easily intimidated by bigger clubs, who might be inexperienced and whatnot. And frankly, it's my opinion, I think it's absolute nonsense, actually. I mean, they're right that Michael Oliver isn't in the highest tier of UEFA referees right now, but that's because the Juventus lost the first leg at home 3-0, and you tend to save the highest tier referees for matches that are likely to be close and tight, and you give the other guys a chance to get experience. So, plus, as Craig and Stevie said, he got the penalty call correct. So I think it's nonsense. I think a little bit like the accusations from the Madrid press of, oh, is there going to be a backlash because people in Germany as well have complained about UEFA favoring Madrid, and will the next referee try to make up for it the other way? This is all it is. It's trying to get into referees' heads, and hopefully referees are going to be stronger than that.
Just sour grapes.
It is, and I can't explain it. Look, in my opinion, Michael Oliver is the best referee in the Premier League. The fact that he isn't higher up in the European rankings maybe speaks to his lack of experience, but even so, every call he made, or certainly the big calls he made on the night Real Madrid-Juventus were absolutely right, most including that penalty call. Now, I really don't understand the rhetoric or what's behind it. You kind of understand what's coming out of Germany and certainly the Real Madrid publications, in that it's mind games, which used to be left to managers, but now all of a sudden it's down to the media as well. What the Italian presidents are saying is bemusing.
It's extraordinary because you've got two presidents of two of the highest profile clubs in Europe coming out and basically saying the referees are against that. They sound like fans.
Juventus have been to 2 Champions League finals in the last 3 years.
Yep.
Right. Roma are still in it, right?
Yep.
And Napoli went out this year, not because what? A referee fancied Shakhtar Donetsk to go through. We're just bundling them all in now, saying, oh, I think I fancy Shakhtar Donetsk to go through and not Napoli. I mean, it's absolute, it's gutter rhetoric, the same gutter rhetoric that Buffon's been using.
The good thing
really
is, the good thing is, Craig, De Laurentiis is the voice of reason. He's really the guy. If I make a statement, there's one guy I don't want backing me up, that's him.
And that now surpasses the record set by Real Sociedad back in 1980. It is the longest unbeaten start to a campaign by any side in the history of Spain.
Wow.
It is a wow.
Is it?
Of course it's a wow.
I don't think so.
Why? We were sat here, what, 3 months ago talking about can Manchester City go unbeaten?
Such a big wow. We played a B team.
But they get it done. But they get it done.
They went out in the Champions League to Roma after being what were they up 4-1?
So you just forget this. This means nothing because of what happened in.
They're going to win the league, whether they do it on a run or they're unbeaten or whatever. They went out the Champions League to Roma. They buckled this week. If any of these Barca fans interested in it, ask them what they take. Get some Barca fans somewhere. What would you take? An unbeaten run or in the semi-finals to win the Champions League?
But Zinedine Zlatan said last week that La Liga is more important than the Champions League. He preferred to win the league.
Zinedine said it. That must be it. Everybody thinks.
Well, no, you're saying that this is it. There's no one out there who would prefer to win the league than the Champions League.
In a week they got pummeled by Roma. What the hell relevance is a stat?
Because, with hindsight, it's a significant stat, isn't it? Once the dust settles,
the only significance for me this week is the result that they got in Rome, or didn't get.
So their season's just forgotten?
No, but I'm just saying, no, they're going to win the Liga title. I'm just saying the only relevance this week is what happened to them in Rome. They buckled, right? Fair play, they've gone on a run this year, that's fine. They buckled in the Champions League when the heat was on, that's relevant.
So we're wrong to bring this up? we should wait, let the dust settle, and then bring it up in a couple of weeks' time.
I didn't say you were wrong to bring it up.
What, you did?
No, I didn't.
You said, why are you talking saying that?
You want to mention it, that's your business. I'm not knocking it. I'm saying the relevance this week is they get stuffed in the Champions League, and that's what Valverde will be remembered for.
So I should let it settle for a few weeks, and then brought it back and said a couple of weeks ago.
Are you producing this show? Are you producing this show?
Of course not.
You should bring it back.
What,
the producer sitting in the gallery going, I didn't know he was producing the show.
You seem to be trying to produce it as well, in a sense that you don't want me to bring this up.
No, I'm not. You brought it up, and I'm saying the relevance this week is the pummeling they got in Rome, right? If you wanted to, listen, if Shaq and Stevie and you want to have a chat about some stat in La Liga and some unbeaten run,
stat. It's a phenomenal stat.
Do you know what's going to happen?
And it was a phenomenal buckle in Rome.
We've talked about that.
I'm putting my hanky back in, it's coming out.
What's going to happen is, in future years, it's going to be looked upon better than it is right now. Because anybody who's watched Barcelona in the Liga from the start of the season right to now, all the way through, as much as they're undefeated, it's been so uninspiring to watch 90% of the time. You know, I can remember maybe 3 games all season where they've absolutely been flying and scoring fantastic goals and you name it. We seem to have sat week after week after week saying the same thing. They got it done, but they weren't particularly brilliant. So right now, it is a great achievement, but in future years, it will be looked upon with a lot more awe.
Neymar nowhere to be seen though in the celebrations. He was in Brazil playing poker.
Did he win?
Christophe Dugarry not happy with Neymar, saying, how can we call Neymar the leader of the team when he didn't come back and share this moment with them? How can Neymar look his teammates in the eye again after behaving in this way? He is spitting on the club. I think it's barbaric. If he were at Barca, he would have returned without any problem. If I was a PSG player, I'd be raging. If we think that PSG can win the Champions League with attitudes like this, we're having a laugh.
By the way, is Christophe Dugarry trying to look like our colleague Frank Leboeuf? Or is that just me? On the other side of the coin, it's almost PSG's fault for letting them do it. They've given him carte blanche since he's came in to run the show and steer the ship. No matter what anybody says, it's been ongoing off the pitch, and it's been damn well ongoing off the pitch. Usually against the minnows in France, domestically, where he's juggling around like Coco the Clown. He's clearly not a team player there. He's seen it as a short-term move to get somewhere else. But PSG are allowing them to do it. And until they run the ship from the top, it's always going to happen.
I just wanted to say, from Neymar's perspective, obviously he would argue, look, I'm rehabbing from this operation. Brazil's the best place for it. I don't want to rush. I don't want to be travelling back. I don't, you know. Can you offer him any sort of excuse?
By the way, was he getting a bus? Was he getting a bus back from Brazil?
I don't think so.
Well, exactly. I don't think so.
I can't offer Neymar any kind of an excuse. And to Craig's point, I think PSG have not only allowed this to happen, they've encouraged it by allowing from the ridiculous of let Neymar have his own bag to Unai Emery saying, well, you all sort out the whole penalty situation on the park. There has not been any kind of leadership from the top, and they've allowed Neymar to make his own decisions regardless of what they are. So now if he decides, well, Brazil is the best place for me, what do you expect? You've allowed him to do this. You've allowed him to make this decision. To be honest, if it were me, I'd rehab in Brazil every single time if you give me the chance.
Would this have been different if he was at Barcelona? Would he have come back and celebrated with them?
Absolutely.
Yes.
What do you think would have happened? If this had been the Ballon d'Or, do you think he'd have been still playing poker? No. Me. I'm all right, Jack. I'll look after myself. And I'm actually shocked that there has to be some players at PSG who can speak to this guy and ask him what he's doing. But clearly there isn't. And when Dugarry says, with a guy with this sort of attitude, and the fact that he's not turning up to get the title, they've no chance of winning the Champions League with attitudes like that. He's absolutely spot on.
Where do you stand on how he should approach this Bournemouth game? How much are you thinking about that semi-final?
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot, because it's going to be very important for him at the end of the year to lay a cup an FA Cup final victory out and roll it out and say, look, this is progress for us. So I don't think he'll care come the weekend, missing the Bournemouth game, obviously, who he leaves out. He's only caring about result. And
He can't leave out Pogba, though.
He can, and he possibly
He did
might.
against Sevilla, and look what happened.
He might do. And Sanchez. I mean, he might.
Just focusing on this game with regards to then looking ahead to the Saturday, do you play Pogba and Alexis and Lukaku just to give them a little bit of oomph after that terrible performance against West Brom?
I've heard this kind of stuff for a manager before. It's not about the name on the jersey or how much you are. I'll be shocked if he doesn't know what team he's starting at the weekend.
Really?
Absolutely shocked. It's used as a motivational tool for maybe if he doesn't start Pogba, it's a kick up his backside. But at the same time, Pogba's probably the wrong example because he's tried everything already with Pogba.
Right.
And according to Mourinho, nothing's changing. So I've heard this before. He knows who's playing on Saturday, regardless of what happens at Bournemouth.
I think his mind should have been made up before the game on Saturday. I don't think the Bournemouth game has that much of a bearing as to who he puts out in the FA Cup semi-final. I think Pogba starts.
It's interesting when you take a look at the bookies. They have Spurs as favourites to advance to the final, 2-1 on compared to United going at 6-4. Chelsea, meanwhile, big favourites, obviously, against Southampton, 4-1 on. Welcome into Extra Time, where superstitions have been the theme over the last couple of days. Craig revealed yesterday that the TV has to be on an even number. Yeah? You as well, Shaq?
Mm-hmm. And the heating.
And the heating. Stevie, I
in my car as well.
TV has to be on an even. So what does the programme you like is not on it?
No, not the channel, the volume.
Oh, the volume? I said the channel.
Right. Listen.
I thought you said the channel. Hey?
I'm sorry, dear, we can't watch this tonight because it's on channel 123. If it was on channel 124...
number.
I thought you said channel.
do you have any superstitions, Stevie?
I have millions of them.
Yeah.
I've got millions.
What was your big one before a game?
I can't even remember. I've moved on.
Oh, yeah?
I've got a stupid one now. After I've washed my hands in the toilet, I can only use either one sheet of paper or three. Wash my hands.
So you don't do odd sheets? Even
I'm
sheets?
just saying. That may be what it looks like, but it's evolved into it's either one
How
or
does
three.
it happen? How does
No
it...
idea.
Where's the genesis
No idea.
I can't use 2 sheets of paper to wash my hands.
I don't know.
What if there's no sheets?
Wow.
What do you do?
Go about with wet hands.
OK.
What if you want to watch a channel?
But there's only 2 sheets.
If you want to watch the channel, but it's
But there's only 2 sheets left to do.
I think you may have picked
I
that
swear
one
you
up
said
wrongly.
I swear you said channel.
Maybe I did.
Maybe you did.
I tell you what, you're getting more like Mariner by the day.
Oh, don't say that.
Yeah, isn't it?
Yeah.
Cool.
Let's go to Gab. Gab's here. Hi, Gab. Do any of you believe the reports that United are willing to sell Pogba and/or Anthony Martial?
I think Martial, if they get a good price for him, and if he's not part of Mourinho's plans, and if you look at the amount of starts he's had of late, you might deduce that that's not the case. I think he could be going the way of Memphis Depay. So you get a decent fee for him, and he goes and does well elsewhere. As far as Pogba's concerned, I find it really, really difficult. I think unless there's a big breakdown in relationships, or maybe he has a great World Cup and then all of a sudden they get a massive fee for him. I think in for a dime, in for a dozen with him.
If, Stevie, a big if, Liverpool finish second and win the Champions League, who would have had the better season, City or Liverpool?
I'd have to say, I would prefer to win the Premier League over the Champions League. So I would have to go with City.
Do you agree, Shaq?
No.
No, I'd go the other way.
I think Liverpool.
Because
I think second in the Premier League and winning the Champions League, I'd go Liverpool.
I would say City are expected to win the Premier League this year.
Yeah.
Liverpool to win the Champions League.
Well, to be fair, they're expected to win it because he's started so well and was so good.
The best in the Premier, but Liverpool to win the Champions League. Start of the year.
Listen, the last time they won it, they weren't one of the favourites to win it.
No,
They weren't the best team.
If you say something like,
They won it.
if you say City winning the Premier League and then losing the Champions League final, You know, so first, second in the respective competitions just reversed. I'd agree with their City.
What if the final was on a nod channel? Would you watch it?
I understand. I understand the expectation that at the start of the season, somebody said to Liverpool, "You're going to be second. You win the Champions League. It would be fantastic." But I'm just saying, as a Liverpool fan and former player, I would prefer to win the Premier League.
A bit whispery, Stevie. Why are you whispering on everything?
Turn your volume up.
What did you say?
I know it sounds extremely harsh, but should Valverde get the sack, he doesn't play Barcelona-style football and clearly doesn't have what it takes to win the Champions League. I sound stupid, but I think he needs to leave before things take a turn for the worse.
He got one thing right.
He
got one thing right, pal.
People are quick to turn, aren't they?
They are quick to turn. Gab, what do you think?
No, I don't think he should go. Look, let's not forget that not only are they obviously winning, they could well be winning the double, but, you know, that Roma game finished. They went out on away goals, you know. Yeah, he was outplayed, but then they won big in the first leg. I think Valverde needs to improve. I think this team needs to improve, but I don't think you can really really judge him until he's had a chance to work with Coutinho and Dembele, you know, have them fit for a period of time, which has really not been the case thus far.
If Real Madrid is so invincible, why do they only have one La Liga trophy in 6 seasons? Surely every club wants to win their league.
Who said they were invincible?
I don't know.
Must have been you.
I've never said
I reckon
they were
it was
invincible.
you.
Surely not. No?
Positive.
I think it was the guy who sent the tweet before.
Was it Sid? Sid
Maybe
Lowe?
Rahul.
Sid in his Real Madrid
I blame
bias.
Rahul.
Sid gets wound up, doesn't he?
He
By
does, he does. He
accusations.
bites quite a lot of that.
Well, I can understand that.
Well, before Fergie took over Man United, they were considered a cup team, right?
That's quite a long time ago.
You're still whispering.
I'm just telling you something, that's all. I'm just telling you. Some teams do better in the cup competitions.
What do you think of Inter's new kit, Gab? Of course, this had their Instagram, didn't it, on their backs?
It's a social media world. I'm hoping it's a one-off. I'm hoping it achieved what it set out to do, and I'm hoping never to see this again.
Well, that summed it up. That summed it up right there at the end.
Not that Kinga.
Bit like a well-done steak.
Would you like your Instagram on your back?
How?
Do that again?
Your Instagram handle on the back
What
of your...
Instagram? I don't have an Instagram handle.
Oh, does anyone here have Instagram?
No.
I do.
Oh, would you...
No thanks.
What's on your Instagram? Just your commercial that you did, isn't it? Just
I
self-promotion?
have one more photo on there as well.
Oh.
I have 2 things.
What's your handle so we can advertise it, Shaq?
I remember.
Good. Excellent. Excellent. Good work. That is it. We're done.
Please follow me on Instagram.
Oh.
That's the brigade, isn't it, out there?
Yeah.
Most of them. You can follow. Please follow. I mean, please, all that nonsense. Begging people to follow you and what for?
Don't know. Likes?
It's people so vain. You see them, and most of them are in the public domain. Follow me, please follow me, please. You can see my stuff. Oh, get lost. Seriously.
How we end up here? That's what I would have.
We're talking about Instagram, and I just thought the people are already on social media now begging for people to follow them on Instagram. I mean, Jesus, get a life, man.
Can I ask you, what's wrong with a well-done steak?
Well, it's just wrong.
How?
Ask Gab. It's wrong.
Oh, are we going back here again?
It's unsurprising that it would be you.
What's wrong with a
I know
well-done
that
steak?
anyway. Gab, what's wrong with a well
People
done?
like it well done.
Wow, Gab.
I don't even know where to begin,
Yes.
Craig. I know you and I are on the same page in this one, but there's no accounting for taste. Some people like to eat cardboard. Some people like to eat cement. If you like your steak ultra well done, that's down to you.
Yes.
But it doesn't make it right. Just because you enjoy something does not mean that it is right.
Yeah, but just because you don't agree with something doesn't make it wrong.
But it's not the way it's meant to be.
No, it's wrong because it's wrong. Because a steak is supposed to be flavorful.
Who said that?
There's supposed to be a certain texture to it.
Well, you can't make sauce
You just
with
go
it,
and
no?
burn it. It's something. It becomes something else.
So I put some sauce. You can put sauce on it, you know, and I don't mean tomato sauce. A nice béarnaise sauce. some sort of homemade sauce.
It's
You can
still
do
a
plenty
burnt, charred piece of nothing.
Yes. So what he does, Gab, he takes all the flavour out of it, then adds a bit of flavour to give it some flavour. It's a kind of Stevie way about doing things.
I mean, that does make sense, what you say.
Have you left it?
Have you ever tried it medium rare?
Yeah, I can't. I don't enjoy it.
Too much flavour.
What have your missus made it medium rare?
Well, I'd obviously enjoy it.
Tell her about your shepherd's pie.
Oh my goodness. We just get out of this segment.
She made it medium rare. She moved with my missus for long.
Let's go.
Say that. I take my food seriously, by the way. I can assure you.
Okay, good, done. ESPN FC back with you tomorrow. Just a reminder, ESPN Plus, the new and exclusive home of ESPN FC.